Okay. Okay, so these are notes number 6. Okay, so number 6. So put number 6 in the upper right hand corner so you can keep track. That helps you keep track of how many you should have. So if the water bottle is going to be annoying, I'm going to make you throw it away. So just put it on your desk. Stop messing with it, please. So what we're going to look at today, we are still solving equations. Okay, so do not make these. These have a tendency to be tricky for students. Do not overthink these. And I know I say that a lot, but especially with these, do not make it harder than it is. So let's look at my first 2 examples. We need to solve each of the equations for x. So if I want to solve for x, I want my answer to be what? X equals. Okay? Now let's look at the equation on the left. The equation on the left is one like we've done for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Okay? What would be the first thing I would do on the left to solve for x? Add 5. Okay? You guys know how to do this. So add 5 to both sides. Start from the left. 2x. 5's cancel. Equals 13 plus 5. 18.
What?
Divide by 2. X equals 9. Okay? You know how to do the equation on the left. It's pretty straightforward. We did that about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Okay? Now, as I look at the equation on the right, what seems different about the equation on the right?
No numbers.
There's no numbers. They're all variables. Okay? So, as we think about this, your answer is not going to be x equals a number because there's no numbers in there. It's going to be x equal lots of crap, lots of variables. Okay? Your goal is the same. If I want to solve this for x, if you want to underline x or do something, I don't care. If I want to solve this for x, I still want to get x alone. So we are still using the same process. As I look on the left side, what other variables do I need to get rid of to get x alone? A and B. You use the same thought process. Which variable is furthest away from x? A or negative B?
B.
Negative B. So we add B to both sides. Just like we added 5 to both sides on the left one, we're adding B to both sides on the right equation. It's the same process, we just are not doing numbers. So on the left, we have AX, negative B plus B cancels, equals, and then C plus B, you can't combine them, so you just put C plus B. So actually, from the standpoint of doing any like math, there's not really a ton of math involved. You're not going to have to plug a lot of numbers into your calculator. You're just going to have to write it down. C plus B is C plus B. How do I get rid of A in front? This is A times X. Divide by A. Just like we divided by 2 on the left side. If I divide by A, start from the left, A over A cancels. X equals C plus B, all divided by A. So your answers for these may look kind of weird. They're going to have lots of variables in them. Instead of getting x equals a number, you're going to get x equals stuff with variables.
So really
Okay?
You're going to have to solve it now?
You're solving it because I'm still getting x alone, but you aren't going to have a lot of like, I have to multiply these numbers or add these numbers or whatever. You're just going to write it down. So it's kind of easier from that standpoint, but it's trickier because it's harder to think about because we don't actually have numbers.
Nice.
Okay? Guys, keep your heads up, please. I want everyone's heads up.
Yeah.
Heads up. Okay. As I look at this, Shelby, before I forget, here's this. Remind me. 8:45. Okay, so that's the big difference with what we're doing today. We're not actually working with numbers. We have lots of different variables. That's why it's called multi-variable. Different variables. Okay? Let's look at ones down here. Let's look at 2 down here. We're going to look at a couple of these. I have A equals BH, and I want to solve for H. So something I do that is helpful to me is I like to underline what variable they ask me to solve for. They will always say, solve for this variable. I like underlining that variable because that tells me what variable I need to get alone. So if I need to get H alone, I need to get rid of what variable? B. This is B times H. What is the opposite of B times H?
You divide by A.
Dividing by what? B. If I want to get h alone, I want to solve for h, I divide by b. Can I actually do a divided by b?
No.
No, so you just put it, a divided by b, a over b, equals h. Is this solved for h?
Yes.
Yes, h is by itself. It's the same process. These are harder though because we're not actually working with numbers.
How does this be harder?
Because it's hard. If it's easy for you, great. But every year this seems to be something that the students mess up with. Okay, let's look at 4. Okay, if I look at 4, I want to solve for t. So I always like underlining t. Okay, I'm going to underline t. That means I need to get t alone. What variables do I need to get rid of in order to get t alone? P and r. What operation is happening between the p, r, and the t?
Multiplication.
All multiplication. So what is the opposite of multiplying by pr?
Division.
Divide by pr. It's the same thought process. If I want to get t by itself, it's p times r times t. The opposite of multiplying by pr is dividing by pr. So you can put the pr together. On the left side, how would I write the left side?
I equals I divided by PR.
I over divided by pr, or I over pr equals
Equals T.
t. The prs cancel on the right side. This is solved for t because t is alone. Good.
Can we just do one more?
No, I'm going to do a couple more, and then we'll go into time homework. Okay, let's look at 7. If I look at 7, m equals c minus s. I want to solve for c. So if it's helpful, I like underlining c because I know I need to get c alone.
Are you sure that's an S or an A?
It's a s.
Why is it like that?
Whatever, it's just the way it's written. So if I want to get c alone, I need to get rid of the negative s. How do I get rid of the minus s? Add s. You do the same process. On the left side, that would be what? M plus s. The nice thing about this is you're not actually going to have to add things together usually. It's just m plus s equals c. This is solved for c because c is by itself. Any questions so far? Let's look at 8. I want to solve for pi. So I want to solve for pi. Okay. Actually, I'm going to change this. I want to solve, cross out pi, I want to solve for r. Sorry, I'm going to change it. Make it a little trickier so I can help you through it. I want to solve for r. So underline r if you want to. Okay, let's think about this. On the right side, what things do I need to get rid of to get r alone? The square to the second power and the pi. Which one would I get rid of first? Which one is furthest away? Think about plugging. If I plug a number in, I square first and then I do pi. So you do the backwards. So I would actually get rid of pi first. How would I get rid of that pi? Divide by pi. Because it's pi times r squared, so I divide by pi. The left side is going to look like what? A divided by pi, a over pi, you just write it out, equals, what will be on the right side? R squared. Now I need to get rid of that 2. It's an exponent of a 2, r squared. Square root, good. Square root cancels out with r squared. So if I take the square root of both sides, that is the inverse of squaring something. So don't make this, just because it's the square root, don't think, oh my gosh, this looks so hard. That cancels out the r squared. So left side, I just have the square root of a divided by pi equals the square root and the square cancel, so it's just r. And that is solved for r. And we'll do 9 real quick, and then I'll let you start the homework. If I look at 9, I want to solve for m. So somehow underline m if that's helpful. If not, don't do it. I don't care. I need to get rid of v. How do I get rid of this v? Yeah, I'm dividing by v, so the opposite is multiply by v. So if I multiply both sides by v, The left side would be dv or vd. It doesn't matter the order you multiply them. And then on the right side, b's cancel, so that's equal to m. That is solved for m, because m is by itself. Good. You guys seem to be doing well on this. Okay, let me pass out homework. Let me get you started on the homework, and then we'll finish the notes.